Come January 2020, this won't get you onto an airplane if what you have in this should play a part into where you spend your pretrial time. It was the very last bill passed on the very last night of the session, and because of that, lawmakers aren't able to override Governor Bevan's veto. Here in London, the sign came with me and it said, "Why are you going to vote on election day?" But what they decided not to do was to board up the windows that weren't damaged. It's now been more than a half century since then, but not much has changed here in Martin County. Mark, the plaza is back open here, but you can see that it still says, "Rest in power, Heather Heyer." Things are looking pretty good here at the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport. If you look at this is all the flights from now until tomorrow, and you see only one is canceled and the vast majority are all on time.
By 1:30, the shutdown showdown unofficially ended.
I will sign a bill to open our government for 3 weeks until February 15th.
And Goodwood Brewing Company celebrated the 35-day shutdown, shutting down their new beer launches.
We had 3 items that were in the queue, so we thought we might be impacted, but we only thought it'd be a matter of days.
The Alcohol, Tobacco, Tax and Trade Bureau, or TTB, has to approve all new beers before they can go across state lines. With the shutdown, Goodwood CEO Ted Mitzloff had to wait for his new products.
We've got to plan our beer, typical beers, about 2 weeks in advance to ferment and package. One of these is a barrel-aged product, so we need to prepare that about 2 months in advance. We have a Goza that we're going to age in tequila barrels, so we have to plan that several months out.
With the shutdown over, the TTB can get back to approving new beers. Mitzloff saying he's hoping for the best, but also has a backup plan.
We may have a fire sale on product in Kentucky if we need to, but hopefully that won't be the case.
All sides have indicated they'll quickly pass the continuing resolution to reopen the government. That has Goodwood raising a glass to celebrate, or in this case, a can. In Louisville, Annie Andersen, Spectrum News 1. It was just 5 months ago that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell rebuffed rumors about upcoming cuts to social services.
Nobody should worry. There's no talk about doing anything to reduce the benefits of Medicare and Social Security.
Now, those concerns again. President Trump's proposed budget calling for changes to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. A Kentucky Republican calling it a good move.
We're not going to solve our bubble problems if we don't fix it for people that are younger now.
A Kentucky Democrat saying the opposite.
For Kentucky, it's particularly damaging because what it would do is reduce the absolute amount of funding for Medicaid and then eliminate the Affordable Care Act expansion program, which means that the reimbursement goes from 90% from the federal government to less than 70%. So it's a double whammy.
The president's proposed budget spending $1.5 trillion less on Medicaid over the next 10 years. Of that, $1.2 trillion going to states in a block grant program. His proposal also reducing Medicare spending by almost $600 billion. Congressman Brett Guthrie calling it a simple leveling out.
Previous Congresses, and I was voted because we want to restrict the growth of government, put caps on how much spending can be. It was signed by President Obama. In the last couple of sessions, we had to relieve that because as you go further down the road, the cuts do become more dramatic, and we have to fix that.
Guthrie saying the changes are necessary, with Social Security expected to only be 79% funded in 2034. But he added they're being pragmatic about the changes.
But if you're 55 or older, we're not going to change anything.
Congress has to approve the president's budget, and the president never gets everything he wants in it.
Actually, I don't think the president's going to get much of anything that he wants.
In Louisville, Annie Andersen, Spectrum News 1.
In 2014, incumbent California Governor Jerry Brown ran for governor with 15 challengers. He won his primary by 35 points. Brown went on to win the general election by 20 points. Then we look at Bruce Rauner, the former Republican Illinois governor. At the time of his primary, Rauner was very unpopular with the Republican Party. He won his primary by just 3 points, but then he lost by 16 points in the general election.
Governor Matt Bevin's lead in the primary was more than that, but less than Governor Jerry Brown's. Bevin won by about 13 points. Minority Leader Senator Morgan McGarvey saying he thinks that will hurt Bevin come November.
I think it spells real trouble for Matt Bevin. the fact that 48% of Republicans went to the polls and voted against him. They voted against the job he's done as governor for the last 4 years. I think he has his work cut out for them to bring them back into the fold. I don't think they like the way he has run things through lawsuits or run government in fits and starts, and they're looking for a change at the top, and I think Democrats can capitalize on that.
But Senate Majority Leader Damon Thayer saying that isn't the case, and Bevin did win by a large margin.
Actually, he won by 35,000 votes. That's 34,917 votes more than he won by last time. And he ended up winning in a landslide over Jack Conway, another limousine liberal, which is exactly what the Democrats have nominated again. Andy Beshear is not well liked or even adored like his father was by Democrats. They're not enthusiastic about him. He started out with 55% in the polls in January and ended up winning with 38% of the vote. That means 2/3 of Democrats did not vote for Andy Beshear. That's the story.
As more than 100 people gathered in the parking lot of the Jeffersontown Kroger, emotions and tears flowed. Mourning 69-year-old Maurice Stallard and 67-year-old Vicki Lee Jones, both killed at the busy grocery store Wednesday.
Mr. Maurice Stallard was like a second father to me. He was our baseball coach, t-ball coach, tennis coach, mentor. This guy was everything to us.
Folks that had a mission when they came to the store, like most of us, we have a mission to do something, you know, and our mission usually isn't at the end of that task to be murdered.
While sadness prevailed, Nicole Ward had another emotion, anger.
We do not stay angry long enough. 2 people were murdered at the grocery store yesterday, and we're already moving to forgiveness and healing. What about the righteous anger? What about feeling angry because 2 people were gunned down in a grocery store? Why can't we righteously feel angry because 2 people seem to be murdered because they were black at the grocery store? Black at the grocery store.
Jeffersontown police are investigating this as a hate crime. They have arrested 51-year-old Gregory Bush, charging him with 2 counts of murder.
It's indicative of the environment of the country right now. Racial hatred is at an all-time high, and unfortunately this is the result of that happening.
I think that it's definitely a reflection of what's going on. People are comfortable being hating people.
Stallard's friend Brian Scott calling for this to be a catalyst for change.
These 2 people that passed away, I think that it's going to show that it's going to bring all type of people together.
At the vigil, it did just that. In Jeffersontown, Annie Andersen, Spectrum News 1. Around every turn in White Silver Springs, more devastation. This on-ramp to Interstate 64, floodwaters sweeping away cars, leaving residents to pick up the pieces.
No one around here's got any flood insurance. It's just, we used to carry it. It got so high we quit carrying it years ago. So, I'm in the same boat everybody else is. I know I am.
I've got a camp up 92, and I'm going to try to get up there if I can and see if I have anything left.
But it was a friend's safety that brought Greg Trent into town.
I really came in town last night to help my friends who own a restaurant, and they were trapped in the building, so I came up to try to help them get them out. We didn't get them out last night until about 1 o'clock this morning.
Weather reports called for severe storms Thursday. Townspeople shocked they were as bad as they were.
I've never seen anything like this. Never. This is the worst.
I've been here all my life, born and raised right here. Nothing like kids. I guess I'm lucky. I'm alive. Got my health.
In White Sulphur Springs, Annie Andersen, ABC 13 News.
Representative Mary Lou Marzian filed a floor amendment to Representative Joe Fisher's abortion bill.
It says all women of childbearing age must get a notarized statement from their doctor every month saying if she's pregnant or not. Any woman who doesn't can be arrested. And if a pregnant woman doesn't turn in her monthly paper, she'll have to wear an ankle monitor for the rest of her pregnancy. Obviously, this amendment was filed in jest, but the Democrat from Louisville says the thought behind it is real.
I filed an amendment, number one, because it's such hypocrisy, and number two, to demonstrate if they want government in your life, which a lot of these folks say we want less government, then we'll have it in your life. Oh, they get the point, and they just disagree. So they agree that they should be involved in personal, private medical decisions, and a lot of it's for their re-elections. They think, they're so holy and sanctimonious, and then some are anti-choice.
Wine lovers, get excited. A bill that would let you direct ship wine passed the Senate.
It's Senate Bill 99, sponsored by Republican Max Wise from Campbellsville. Wise said he heard from a lot of constituents who said they wanted to be able to ship their favorite California wines right to the bluegrass state. The bill was changed to make sure people and vineyards wouldn't be able to bypass paying taxes by shipping wine. If passed, Kentucky would be the 46th state to legalize direct wine shipments. The bill passed the Senate 29-5 with one senator not voting.